In the following question, n is an integer greater than 1. And we're told that root 2 to the power of n is equal to k root 2. So it's a two-part question. Let's focus on part 1. Part 1 says find k when n is 7. Now let's write down the question. Root 2 to the n is equal to k root 2. And we're told that n is equal to 7. So let's substitute n for 7. So what does this mean? It's saying that root 2 to the power of 7. That means root 2 multiplied by itself 7 times. So root 2 multiplied by itself 7 times. That's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, and that's 7. So I've got root 2 multiplied by itself 7 times. Well, now I'm going to notice that some of these can simplify. Root 2 times root 2 is just 2. Another root 2 times root 2 is also just 2. And another is also just 2. We also have that remaining root 2 on the end, which we haven't used. And if we multiply all this together, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And we still have the root 2 at the end. And I think that's in the form k root 2, therefore k is 8. Let's take a look at part 2. Part 2 says find n when k is 64. So again, let's write the question down. It says root 2 to the power of n is equal to k root 2. And we're told that k is 64, so let's substitute k for 64. Okay, so I'm going to do this question by focusing on the right-hand side and trying to make it look like the left-hand side. So we're told 64 root 2. Well, let's change everything into a power of 2. So 64 is the same as saying 2 to the power of 6, and root 2 is the same as saying 2 to the power of a half. And then these are multiplied together. Now, when we're multiplying where the base is the same but the index is different, what we do is we keep the base the same and we add the index numbers. So 6 add a half is 6.5. But I'm going to convert that mixed fraction into an improper. So 6.5 is the same as 13 over 2. Okay, so now we need to make it in the form root 2 to the n. So I'm going to notice that root 13 over 2 is the same as, I'm going to break it down, into a half multiplied by 13. Because a half times 13 is 13 over 2. And then when we're multiplying indexes, we can rewrite that as a power of a power. So that is the same as saying 2 to the power of a half to the power of 13. And I think we can notice that 2 to the power of a half is the same as root 2. We still have our 13, and I think that's the answer. I think we've got it in the form root 2 to the power of n. Therefore, n is 13.